Every morning begins with a simple but powerful moment. It happens when your alarm clock rings. For most people, this moment seems insignificant, but it has the potential to shape the entire day. In that instant, you face a choice. You can stay where it is comfortable, or you can get up and move toward your goals. This is the first battle of the day, and how you respond often determines the direction of everything that follows. Many people underestimate the impact of hitting the snooze button. They see it as a harmless decision, just a few extra minutes of rest. However, those few minutes represent something much bigger. They represent a choice between comfort and commitment. Every time you delay getting out of bed, you train your mind to seek the easier path. You teach yourself that temporary comfort is more important than long-term growth. While it may not seem significant in the moment, these small choices gradually shape your habits and your character. Successful people understand that discipline begins with the first decision of the day. They know that if they can win the battle against comfort in the morning, they are more likely to make productive decisions throughout the day. Getting up immediately when the alarm rings sends a powerful message to your mind. It tells you that you are in control. It tells you that your goals matter more than your excuses. It tells you that you are ready to take responsibility for your future. The challenge is that your mind will often try to convince you to stay in bed. It will tell you that you are tired, that you deserve more sleep, or that you can start later. These thoughts feel convincing because comfort is attractive. It requires no effort, no discipline, and no sacrifice. But growth has never lived inside a comfort zone. Every meaningful achievement requires the ability to do what is necessary, even when it feels difficult. Imagine two people starting their day. The first person hits the snooze button several times, scrolls through social media, and slowly drifts into the morning without any clear purpose. The second person gets up immediately, prepares for the day, and begins working toward important goals. By the end of the day, their results are likely to be very different. Not because one person is more talented, but because one person chose action while the other chose delay. Winning the first battle of the day creates momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in personal success. When you start the morning with a victory, you build confidence. You prove to yourself that you can follow through on your commitments. This confidence carries into other areas of your life. You become more willing to tackle difficult tasks, make better decisions, and remain focused when challenges arise. Another benefit of getting up immediately is that it strengthens self-respect. Every promise you keep to yourself increases your belief in your own abilities. Every promise you break weakens that belief. When you set an alarm and then ignore it, you send a message that your own commitments are not important. But when you get up as planned, you reinforce trust in yourself. Over time, this trust becomes one of your greatest strengths. The truth is that success is not built through dramatic moments. It is built through small daily victories. The first victory often happens before the sun fully rises. It happens when you decide to leave your bed instead of staying in it. It happens when you choose discipline over comfort and action over excuses. Tomorrow morning, when your alarm clock rings, remember that you are facing more than a wake-up call. You are facing an opportunity to prove that your dreams matter, an opportunity to build discipline, an opportunity to start the day with purpose. Win that first battle, and you will be one step closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. One of the most important habits you can develop if you want to destroy laziness and transform your life is learning how to protect your morning focus. The first hour after you wake up is incredibly powerful. It sets the tone for your thoughts, your energy, your decisions, and your productivity for the rest of the day. Yet most people give away this valuable time without even realizing it. They wake up and immediately reach for their phones. Before they have fully opened their eyes, they are checking messages, scrolling through social media, watching videos, reading news updates, and reacting to notifications. As a result, they begin the day distracted, overwhelmed, and mentally exhausted. The problem is not technology itself. The problem is allowing outside influences to take control of your mind before you have established control over your own thoughts. When you wake up and instantly dive into social media, you are allowing other people's opinions, problems, achievements, and priorities to shape your mood. Instead of focusing on your goals, you start comparing your life to others. Instead of creating, you consume. Instead of leading your day, you follow whatever appears on your screen. Successful people understand the value of protecting their focus. They know that attention is one of the most valuable resources they possess. Once it is scattered, it becomes difficult to recover. That is why many highly successful individuals avoid checking their phones immediately after waking up. They give themselves time to think, reflect, and prepare before the distractions of the world begin demanding their attention. Imagine waking up every morning and spending the first hour intentionally. Instead of scrolling through endless content, you sit quietly and think about your goals. You review your priorities. You plan your day. You read something inspiring or educational. You give your mind the opportunity to wake up with purpose rather than confusion. This simple change can have a profound impact on your productivity and mindset. One reason morning focus is so important is because your mind is fresh. Your mental energy is at its highest level. You have not yet dealt with the stresses and distractions that accumulate throughout the day. This is the perfect time to focus on activities that matter most. If you waste this valuable period on mindless distractions, you lose an opportunity that cannot be recovered. Protecting your morning focus also helps eliminate laziness. Laziness often grows in environments filled with distractions. When your attention is constantly being pulled in different directions, it becomes harder to stay disciplined. You feel busy but accomplish very little. Hours pass without meaningful progress. At the end of the day, you wonder where all your time went. By protecting your focus, you create the mental clarity necessary to take action and move forward. Another benefit of guarding your mornings is that it improves decision-making. Every day, you make countless decisions. The quality of those decisions often determines the quality of your results. When you start the day distracted and overwhelmed, your judgment suffers. But when you begin with clarity and purpose, you are more likely to make choices that align with your goals and values. Remember that your attention is precious. Every notification, every message, and every piece of content is competing for it. If you do not decide where your focus will go, someone else will decide for you. The most successful people do not allow their mornings to be controlled by distractions. They intentionally direct their attention toward activities that create growth, progress, and success. Tomorrow morning, try something different. Leave your phone aside for a while. Give yourself time to think before you react. Focus on your goals before you focus on the world. Protect your attention as if it were one of your greatest assets, because it is. When you learn to control your focus, you learn to control your actions. And when you control your actions, you gain the power to change your life. The first hour of your day is not just another hour. It is the foundation upon which the rest of your day is built. Protect it, use it wisely, and watch how dramatically your life begins to change. One of the fastest ways to destroy laziness and can create a productive life is to move your body every morning. Many people believe that energy comes before action. They think they need to feel energetic before they can exercise, work, or pursue their goals. In reality, the opposite is often true. Action creates energy. Movement creates momentum. The more you move, the more alive, focused, and motivated you become. Think about how many mornings begin with sluggishness. You wake up feeling tired, unmotivated, and unwilling to do anything challenging. Your bed feels comfortable and your responsibilities feel overwhelming. In those moments, laziness seems powerful. It convinces you to stay still and postpone action. But what laziness never tells you is that staying inactive often makes those feelings worse. The longer you remain inactive, the more tired and unmotivated you become. Your body and mind are deeply connected. When your body is inactive, your mind often follows. When your body begins to move, your mind becomes more alert. A simple walk, a few stretches, a short workout, or even a few minutes of physical activity can dramatically change your mental state. Movement sends a signal to your brain that it is time to wake up, engage, and perform. Many successful people make physical activity a non-negotiable part of their morning routine. They understand that exercise is not just about building muscles or improving appearance. It is about creating the energy necessary to perform at a high level throughout the day. They know that when they move their bodies, they improve their focus, increase their confidence, and strengthen their discipline. One of the greatest benefits of morning movement is the sense of accomplishment it creates. Before most people have even started their day, you have already achieved something positive. You have already proven to yourself that you can take action. This early victory creates momentum. It makes it easier to tackle other challenges because you have already started the day with success rather than hesitation. Another reason movement is so powerful is that it helps break the cycle of procrastination. Laziness often thrives when you overthink everything. You analyze your problems, worry about your goals, and become stuck in your own thoughts. Physical activity interrupts that pattern. Instead of thinking about action, you begin taking action. And once action begins, progress becomes possible. You do not need an expensive gym membership or a complicated workout plan to benefit from morning movement. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. A 20-minute walk, a short jog, a few stretches, or some simple exercises at home can make a remarkable difference. What matters is developing the habit of moving every day. Physical movement also teaches an important lesson about success. It reminds you that growth often requires discomfort. Exercise is not always easy. Some mornings you may feel tired. Some mornings you may not feel like moving at all. But every time you choose action despite those feelings, you strengthen your discipline. You prove that your decisions are stronger than your excuses. The people who achieve great things in life are not always the most talented. Often, they are simply the people who consistently take action when others remain still. Morning movement trains you to become that kind of person. It teaches you to act rather than wait, to move rather than hesitate, and to create momentum rather than surrender to laziness. Tomorrow morning, before you check your phone or become distracted by the demands of the day, move your body. Go for a walk, stretch, exercise. Get your blood flowing and your mind engaged. Do something that wakes you up physically and mentally. You may be surprised by how much your energy, focus, and productivity improve. Remember, you do not defeat laziness by waiting for motivation. You defeat laziness through action. And one of the simplest actions you can take is to move your body. When your body becomes active, your mind becomes stronger. When your mind becomes stronger, your habits improve. And when your habits improve, your life begins to change. Every great day starts with movement, and every step forward is a step away from laziness and closer to the future you want. One of the most powerful morning rituals that can transform your life is feeding your mind with success. Just as your body needs healthy food to function properly, your mind needs positive and valuable information to grow. The thoughts you allow into your mind during the first moments of the day often influence your attitude, decisions, and actions for hours afterward. If you begin your morning with negativity, distractions, and meaningless content, your mindset will reflect that. But if you start your day by filling your mind with knowledge, inspiration, and purpose, you create a foundation for success. Most people are extremely careful about what they eat, but very few pay attention to what they feed their minds. They spend hours consuming content that adds little value to their lives. They wake up and immediately scroll through social media, read negative news, or watch videos that entertain them but do not help them grow. Without realizing it, they are programming their minds with distractions instead of development. Successful people understand that the quality of their thoughts determines the quality of their lives. They know that every book they read, every lesson they learn, and every positive message they absorb has the power to shape their future. That is why many high achievers dedicate part of their morning to personal growth. They intentionally choose information that makes them wiser, stronger, and more focused. Imagine beginning every morning by reading 10 pages of a powerful book. At first, it may seem like a small habit, but over the course of a year, you could read thousands of pages filled with knowledge, ideas, and wisdom. Think about how much your mindset would change. Think about the skills you could develop and the lessons you could learn. Small investments in personal growth create enormous returns over time. Another way to feed your mind with success is by listening to motivational speeches, educational podcasts, or inspiring stories. When you hear messages that encourage discipline, perseverance, and confidence, you begin to adopt those qualities yourself. Your mind starts focusing on possibilities rather than limitations. You become more aware of opportunities and less controlled by fear. One of the greatest advantages of positive input is that it helps you maintain the right perspective. Life is full of challenges. There will be setbacks, disappointments, and difficult moments. If your mind is filled with negativity, every obstacle will appear larger than it really is. However, when you consistently feed your mind with empowering ideas, you develop resilience. You begin to see challenges as opportunities to learn rather than reasons to quit. The information you consume also influences your self-belief. Many people struggle not because they lack ability, but because they lack confidence. They constantly focus on their weaknesses, failures, and doubts. Positive learning changes that. It reminds you of what is possible. It shows you examples of people who overcame obstacles and achieved greatness. These stories become proof that success is achievable if you are willing to work for it. Another important benefit of feeding your mind with success is that it strengthens discipline. Every time you choose learning over distraction, you reinforce productive habits. You train yourself to seek growth instead of instant gratification. This mindset becomes valuable in every area of life, from your career and finances to your relationships and personal goals. Remember that your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant will eventually grow. If you plant negative thoughts, excuses, and distractions, those things will dominate your life. If you plant knowledge, positivity, and purpose, those qualities will grow instead. The choice is yours every single day. Tomorrow morning, make a decision to feed your mind with success. Read something inspiring. Listen to a valuable lesson. Learn a new skill. Invest in your personal growth before the world begins demanding your attention. Over time, these small actions will transform the way you think, and the way you think will transform the way you live. Success begins in the mind long before it appears in reality. Feed your mind with the right ideas, and you will gradually become the person capable of achieving the future you desire. Every great life is built on great thoughts, and every great thought begins with what you choose to put into your mind each day. One of the most powerful habits you can develop if you want to destroy laziness and transform your life is learning how to plan your day with purpose. Many people wake up every morning without a clear direction. They start working immediately, respond to messages, handle small tasks, and stay busy all day long. Yet when the day ends, they feel frustrated because they have accomplished very little that truly matters. They confuse activity with productivity. They are constantly moving, but rarely making meaningful progress. The difference between successful people and average people is often not how hard they work. It is how intentionally they work. Successful people understand that every day is an opportunity to move closer to their goals. They do not leave their priorities to chance. They decide in advance what matters most and focus their energy on those things first. When you wake up without a plan, distractions quickly take control. Every notification becomes urgent. Every request seems important. Every interruption steals a little more of your attention. Before you realize it, the day is gone. You spent hours reacting to life instead of creating the life you want. This is one of the biggest reasons people remain stuck. They allow circumstances to control their schedule instead of allowing their goals to guide their actions. Planning your day with purpose begins by identifying your most important task. This is the one activity that will create the greatest positive impact on your future. It may be working on a business, studying for an important exam, improving a valuable skill, exercising, or completing a project that moves you toward your goals. Whatever it is, make it a priority before less important activities consume your time. Many people make the mistake of creating long lists of tasks. They focus on quantity rather than importance. They spend their energy on easy activities because completing them feels productive. However, real growth often comes from doing the difficult work that others avoid. Planning with purpose means having the courage to focus on what truly matters, even when it is challenging. One reason this habit is so effective is that it eliminates decision fatigue. Every decision you make requires mental energy. If you spend your morning wondering what to do next, you waste valuable focus. But when your priorities are already clear, you can immediately begin taking action. This creates momentum and makes it easier to stay productive throughout the day. Another powerful benefit of planning your day is that it reduces stress. Unclear goals often create anxiety because your mind is constantly trying to figure out what needs attention. A clear plan provides structure and confidence. You know where your energy should go, and you can stop worrying about every distraction that appears. Purpose also creates motivation. Many people believe they need motivation before they can work. In reality, motivation often appears after action begins. When you complete meaningful tasks and see progress toward your goals, your confidence grows. That confidence creates more motivation, which leads to more action. Success becomes a cycle that strengthens itself. Imagine the difference between two people. One person wakes up and allows the day to happen to them. The other wakes up with a clear mission and a defined purpose. By the end of the year, the gap between them can be enormous. One will likely have spent hundreds of hours moving toward meaningful goals, while the other may be wondering why life has not changed. Purpose gives every day meaning. It turns ordinary mornings into opportunities for growth. It transforms work into progress and effort into achievement. Without purpose, it is easy to drift through life. With purpose, every action becomes part of a larger vision. Tomorrow morning, before checking your phone or becoming distracted by the world around you, take a few moments to plan your day. Ask yourself what matters most. Identify the one task that will move you closer to your goals. Commit to completing it. Then begin. Remember, success is not the result of a few extraordinary days. It is the result of many purposeful days connected together over time. Every morning gives you a new opportunity to choose direction over distraction, purpose over procrastination, and progress over excuses. Plan your day with purpose, and you will be amazed at how quickly your life begins to change. Small daily victories eventually become extraordinary achievements, and every great achievement starts with a clear plan and a purposeful morning.